Okay, I'm gonna tell you the biggest running mistake I made in 2024. And I think that after watching this video, you're just gonna be a little more mindful of how this happens and how you can prevent it in the future. So early 2024, I was in Guatemala and my only running shoes were these Nike Wild Horse 5s. They're pretty stiff. They're a, I mean, that's a trail shoe. Nice wide toe box, heel to toe drop. They're stiff, they're cushioned, no rock plate, but I mean it's a solid shoe. I wore these to the point, this not this pair, but I wore my pair in Guatemala to the point where I was wearing like this through the outsole into the midsole. So when I left Guatemala after the month there, I didn't bring them back. They were on their last leg. I tossed them. They were done. I got back here to the States and I went. It's one of those things where you look back and you're like, oh, what was I thinking? So I went from these to my zero drop flexible Ultras. This is the Lone Peak something. This shoe feels like you're running on just a slab of rubber with, pretty gnarly treads on it. And so I went from running in a stiff, cushioned zero drop shoe, not a stiff, cushioned heel to toe drop shoe, to a very flexible zero drop shoe overnight. Dumb. And so what happened was 2 injuries. I hesitate to say injury. I like to say I got a niggle. A niggle is something that isn't quite an injury where it causes me, like I need to stop running, but it just aches enough, or it aches frequent enough that you know it's there, and you maybe hesitate. You're like, oh, should I go run? I'm not sure if I should run on this. This is kind of bothering me, but not so bad. We've all had those. And me as a running coach, I tell my clients, if you ever feel anything like that and you go run on it and you are forced to take time off because you made it worse, you owe me $500. It's a joke, but it really stresses the point that if any of my clients, they text me, my calf isn't feeling quite right, I landed funny and my knee's kind of wonky, don't run. Take 2 days off. You're probably going to be fine. That's always my answer. I even in like the intro email, like the introduction instructions, like, hey, welcome to the plant-based run coaching, read through this thing. I put in there, if you feel anything like that, don't even, text me and tell me you're not going to run. Don't ask me. I'm going to tell you not to run, because if you get hurt, I'm out of a job. And so my number one goal is to get you from where you're at to where you want to be, healthy, uninjured, and having fun. But I still succumb to those errors myself with my own coaching, because often I think to myself, what would I tell myself if I was my coach? And I usually make the right decision, but not all the time. And so I started running in exclusively zero drop shoes. I did a trail race in these, and I kind of got a little bit of plantar fasciitis, I think, just enough that it was bothering me. It was worrisome. I doubled down on my massage gunning. I slept with a Strasbourg type sock for like 2 months straight. That kind of sucked, and it didn't go away. It didn't get worse. It maybe got a little better. It never was at the point where it bothered me, but it was always there. And so, biggest mistake I made of 2024, and I'll tell you what I did to solve it. Like, it's fine now, but biggest mistake of 2024 was switching shoes. It doesn't have anything really to do with it being a zero drop shoe. It has everything to do with the fact that I went from a month walking 10 to 20,000 steps, running and walking 10 to 20,000 steps a day, often with a 2-year-old on my back, taking him to daycare in Guatemala. In this, to this overnight. Now I bought these off eBay for 40 bucks new. That's a shoe hack if there ever was one. This is my third or fourth pair of this shoe. Originally they were 140 bucks brand new. Now 4 years later, I can still find them brand new or very slightly used. One pair was on eBay. This pair shipped to my house for $40 and I'll run 1,000 miles in this pair. They last me forever. Now, to get rid of this, I spent a month where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna massage gun my lower leg and my calf every day. I'm going to sleep in a Strasbourg sock every single night and my plantar fasciitis. And I didn't know if, I had a little bit of heel issue, maybe the plantar fasciitis, and a little bit of something like behind one of my middle toe. That kind of worried me a little bit, but they never were too bad. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna double down on this rehab and it's gonna go away. And I doubled down on that and I did that every single day for 1 or 2 months. No real change. I'm grateful it never got worse. And then one day I'm just like, I'm sick of sleeping with this stupid Strasbourg sock. I'm sick of having to massage gun every day. So I quit massage gunning. I ditched the Strasbourg sock and both problems went away. It was frustrating. So it goes to show that, you do the right thing when you have a niggle or an injury, but if it doesn't work, and this is often what I do with my clients, we're just throwing around ideas. Now, ideally with my clients and ideally with myself, it never gets to that point. And I did a video recently where one of my clients, she asked me, like, when was the last time I really had to take an extended break due to an injury? And I have no idea. I can't think of the last time I had to actually stop running because something hurt. I've had little things pop up, and usually I'm pretty good about really modifying what I'm doing right when something doesn't feel quite right, to let it heal, to give it the time and the opportunity to recover, rejuvenate, regenerate, to heal. So I don't know the last time I've actually had to take time off, because being that runner that, you wish, I wish I would have not I wish I would have not gone for that 1 or 2 runs. I wish I would have not tried to stick to the training plan. I wish I would have just rested better. I'm one, and I tell my clients, I'm one to rest fast. When something doesn't feel quite right, take a couple days off, modify the next week or two. You can still run, but just dial it down. You're probably going to be fine. Now, if you would try to run through it, you're probably going to make it worse. And then I would always rather dial it back, proactively take 2 days off and modify a week or two, versus reactively having to stop running because I wasn't willing to stop running for 2 days. And then I got a full-blown injury and I had to take a month off because my ego didn't want me to modify my training plan. My ego didn't want me to just jog for 30 minutes for a week. But the ego is not the amigo and should not be making training decisions for you. So that's my worst running mistake of 2024, but also it's a good lesson learned as well.